Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. I am attempting a challenge this month. April has 30 days and I think it's only fair that I use those 30 days to try and read 30 books. And that is what this week's video is going to be talking about. I have 30 books on my physical TBR that I can pick from. I've got some ARCs, I've got some new releases coming out. And this is going to be my TBR video that we can come back to at the end of the month and see how many books did I actually read off this list. So with that said, I'm going to start with the new releases and ARCs that I don't currently have a physical copy of, just to get them out of the way before I forget. One of them is Down in Flames, which is the 4th book in the Bunkhouse series. You'll see books 2 and 3 in the pile in a minute. Then Rider by Jessica Peterson, that is book 5 I think in the Lucky River Ranch series, which is, you know, always one of my favorites to read. We've got The Tempest Blade by Danielle L. Jensen, book 6 in the Bridge Kingdom series. We have got Stay for a Spell, which I think is by Sarah Beth Durst. I can't remember, but Stay for a Spell, I've got the ARC of that and I've pre-ordered it, so I'm hoping to get to that. I've got the ARC for While You Were Seething. I can't remember a thing about that if I'm honest, but I have the ARC of that. And I've got the ARC for The Escape Game, which I think is a mystery thriller, which I really hope it is because it sounds really fun if it's what I'm thinking of. And then the ARC I'm currently reading, actually, Kill the Puckers, is a dark hockey romance and it's working so well. I was not expecting that. So that is actually book 1 that will be in next week's video with the reading portion of this. My plan is that each week I will release a video of the 7 or 8 books that I read that week. So that's the ones I don't physically own. Of the books I physically own, it's very daunting looking at them, and I will say 90% of them are romance books because that's the most physical TBR I have is romance. So with that said, let's crack on with the first 10 books. I've split them into piles of 10. I don't know where to begin. This is overwhelming. Let's go for this pile over here, if I can even pick it up. I've put them really awkwardly very far away from me, which does not help. Right. The first set of 10 that I've got from my physical TBR includes Kitty Sinclair's Last Dance by Kate Robb, which is magical realism, and I'm really feeling magical realism. And then I'll show you the next book, which falls into the second category of books that I'm really into right now. But this is book 1. I also don't have a good place to put them, so they're just going behind me for now. Then the second category of books that I'm really into right now is romantic suspense. And I think this is another romantic suspense. This is All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. I've just finished Across the Vanishing Sky by her and I really liked it. And I'm planning to read everything that she's ever released because I thought it was that good. So this, I think, is romantic suspense. Then for book 3, we've got Playing with Fire by Cassie Truitt. This is a cowboy romance and I believe the first book in a new series she's doing. Ow, that hurt. Then I have got On the Edge by Kay Bromberg. This is a Formula 1 romance. I think this is actually book 2 in interconnected standalones, but I can't be bothered to buy the rest of them, so I'm going to stick with the one I currently own. Then I think this is actually litfic, and it's the only litfic book in here. I think it's litfic, I don't really know. And that is Almost Life by Kieran Millward Hargrave. This, I believe, follows a sapphic couple in France, like possibly throughout different times. And like how they interact throughout their life and they always come together or something. I'm pretty sure. But we'll see. I will get to this within the next month. I got the special edition from the Mysterious Bookcase, which is a shop near me. And it's actually gorgeous and it's signed. So big fan of that. I don't think there's anything under the dust jacket. No, there isn't. But definitely giving Paris vibes. Then for book, what is this, book 5? No, book 6 is Slash or Pass by Talia Sanchez. This, I think, is like thriller rom-com, which if you have watched, what video would it be, my Edinburgh vlog maybe, I read How to Kill a Guy in 10 Days and I absolutely adored that, so I was looking to pick up more books similar to it, and I'm hoping this has the same vibe. Then we have got books 2 and 3 in the Bunkhouse series, Fire Away and Up in Smoke. I read Smoking Gun, is that the first one? I read Smoking Gun and I really liked that, so I'm hoping for good things from the rest of the series. And also I fucking love this book cover. That is so gorge. Like the colour palette, the way he's holding her. Big fan of everything going on there. So can't wait to get to these. And then throwing in a new release, I've got The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez, which obviously I'm an Abby Jimenez girly, we love. So hoping for good things from this. And this is a rogue one because I actually don't know if I'm going to like this, but I've got Road Trip to Forever by Chelsea Curto. That is our first 10. Moving on to the second 10, I'll start with, oh actually I'm going to not go for that pile yet. Ooh. Oh, have I split up the pile awkwardly? I have, right. I don't know how to correct the mistake I've made here. Hang on. Hold fire. Here we go. Right. Book 11 is Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. I don't remember anything about this, but I did love the cover, which is why I bought it initially. I intended to read it really quickly and then I never did, so this is on the list. Then I've got Change of Heart by Fallon Ballard. I actually own 2 Fallon Ballard books that I haven't read yet, and I thought I've had this one longer, so I'll prioritise this one. I have got The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O'Clover. I know I bought this because Hayley Pham read it and really liked it, but I don't overly remember much about it. So you'll notice that's the theme with every book I ever buy, is that I don't actually know that much about them. Then I've got The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellefleur. I loved Playing for Keeps by Alexandria Bellefleur that I read in January. I know bestie Ellen Catherine, she loved this book, so I'm excited to read this one. Then we've got 3 more books that are Ellen Catherine specials, as I like to call them, and that is Unsteady, Unloved and Unbound by Peyton Corrin. I haven't read any of these. It massively irritates me that this book has a different cover to these books, and I'm hoping they actually changed these covers to this style because this is gorgeous. I love books that have covers like this. I'm a huge fan of them, as opposed to this. Like, this is cute, but I much prefer this. I know these are hockey romances. I don't know much else about them, but I know that Ellen loves them, and I trust Ellen with my entire being to recommend me books, so we'll see. We will see what I think of those ones. Then I have got Must Have Been Love by Carrie Elks. I read her, is it Salinger Brothers, that series, a while ago, and I really, really liked them. Like, I have an emotional attachment to them. I could have got rid of those books, but I hold on to them because I'm like, that's a bit of me. That's a series that I'm claiming because I haven't seen anyone else read it. So I picked up her, I think this is her newest release, called Must Have Been Love. And I do not know much about this, but I do believe it is the start of a new series. And then finally for this pile, we've obviously got my trusty old faithful Portia McIntosh. We've got Too Hot to Handle and It's All Sun and Games, which are the only 2 books of hers I own and haven't read. And I want to get to them because for my birthday I know I've got more Portia McIntosh books on the way. So I have until May to sort my TBR out before I have a huge influx of books, because I always get books for my birthday. It has to be done. Right. I think this is the last 5 romance books, I believe. So I'll talk through these and then I'll show you the very minimal fantasy and thriller that I've got in here. So I've got What's in a Kiss by Lauren Kate. This is another one Ellen loved, so I bought. Can't remember much about it. I have got The Odds of You by Kate Dramis. This I know because I bought Cleo a copy of this in Edinburgh because I was excited when we found it and it was set in Scotland. So I might try and convince her to buddy read this with me. Cleo, if you're watching this and I haven't said anything yet, remind me to reach out to you. Because I think this would be fun. Like, my approach to this series, as much as I would love to literally bash out a book every single day, I know myself, I'm highly likely to have like 3 books on the go at once and just hope for the best. That's the plan. So I've then got an academic An Academic Affair by Jodie McAllister, which on the front it says fake marriage, real rivalry. Sounds good. It sounds good. And this man right here, looking very much like my type. So I'm excited to read this one. Again, I don't think I've seen anyone else read this. I've maybe seen someone talk about it, but I can't remember who. And I don't think they'd read it. I think they just bought it. Then I've got another magical realism moment with The Second Chance Cinema. I believe this is like a couple in trouble and they end up going to the cinema and it just shows them like clips of their life, which I think is really cool, and it like makes them fall back in love with each other, which I would love to do. Like, I'd love to go back and rewatch parts of my life like that. I think it would be so interesting to see how I've changed as a person and how certain people have influenced my behaviors and everything I do. So I think this sounds very interesting. And our final romance book for this challenge is The Naked Truth by Anna Kirkshaw. Do I remember that? Oh, I've just read the top. I do remember this. It says 2 truths and a lie. 1, I'm crushing on a faceless porn star. 2, I'm road tripping to a wedding with my worst enemy. 3, these are totally unrelated problems. So, I remember why I bought this now. This sounds great. I requested the arc of this and I got declined, which really upset me. And I was like, maybe I won't read it then. And then I read the description again clearly and was like, no, I do need that. I do want to buy that. So I am actually very excited for this. And a lot of these I know are on Kindle because I'm a Kindle girly. Like, I love sitting down with a physical book, don't get me wrong, but at some point my hands are going to hurt and I'm going to want to switch to Kindle. So I like having the option. Then finally, my very tiny stack of things that are not romance, or at least aren't primarily romance. So the only straight thriller that I've got in here is actually the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Again, recently I finished the Good Girl's Guide to Murder book series and I flipping loved it. So I do want to read this, and I did get the work sprayed edge of it. This was from Vinted. I was really like proud that I found this. And again, I've heard amazing things, so I'm hoping I love this, because I have read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson and I did not like that. So let's see if A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is a one-hit wonder for me. Then I will talk about those books last. This is a rogue one and I'm kind of embarrassed that I own it. But I've got The Princess in the Pack by Fallon English. I think we can understand the vibes of this book based on that cover. Yeah, I mean, the back says Rebellious Royals Omegaverse, so I mean, we'll see what I think of this one for sure. And then finally, for physical TBR books, I have been putting off finishing this series and I want to finish it very much so. So I'm kind of just going to force myself to do that this month, hopefully. And that is Paladin's Strength, Paladin's Hope and Paladin's Faith, all by T. Kingfisher. I read Paladin's Grace a long while ago now, I think. And I did really like it, but then I just didn't feel the need to pick up the next ones. So we'll see. But that's why I've given myself like a little bit over 30 books to pick from here. Because obviously I've got the new releases, the arcs, my physical TBR. That's more than 30 because just the physical TBR on its own is 30. So if I read a book from a series and I don't like it, I don't have to finish that series. If the whole thing is in here, I can just pick something else. And obviously I've still got like 50 other books on my physical TBR that I could pick from if I really wanted to. These are just the ones that I felt the need to prioritise because they've either been on my TBR for a long time or I wouldn't pick them up otherwise. So with that said, I think that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Let me know if you want to partake in 30 books in 30 days. I do have a little group of girlies that we're all going to try and attempt it together, and I'm already so obsessed with this. I thought I would chicken out, but because I'm kind of like the host, I suggested it. I can't back out of it, so holding myself accountable, what can I say? But yes, I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next week with the first installment of 30 books in 30 days. Bye!